Rolling in 3, 2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those of you who know what the hell you're yet. Hopalong Pierre here, and for this video, I'm going to be discussing a theory with you guys. A theory that points to the identification of one of the biggest baddies in Zemeria, one of Ouroboros' Anguis. Now, a couple things before I start. One, there are 3 games I haven't played yet. Get off my case. So naturally, I'm missing good chunks of info. 2, today's a special day, so naturally I wanted to make a video. Anyway, moving on, we know that Ouroboros' hierarchy is specifically structured like this. There are foot soldiers and special soldiers near the bottom. The next step up is the hierarchy, are the enforcers, and above them are the mysterious and powerful Anguis. The Anguis only answer to the Grandmaster directly. Otherwise, they command enforcers and the soldiers to help them achieve their goals. Now, I'm not sure if any Anguis aside from Vita are known to the public, but I'm willing to say that if we do a little digging, we can figure out one other Anguis' identity. Now, before we go any further, let's discuss the requirements for joining Ouroboros and how the different ranks can be joined. Anyone with promise can be a soldier. They can be trained to be excellent soldiers to serve Ouroboros. The enforcers require a high amount of power, as well as having some sort of darkness involved with their life, mainly misfortune. Now, we don't know definitively what the requirements for the Anguis are, but here's something that we can guess. I'm willing to bet they need to meet the same requirements as the enforcers, but they need to prove that they are extremely useful to be used by the Grandmaster. We can prove that as well. Vita is an extremely powerful witch whose magic can be used in a lot of different ways, offensively and manipulatively. Your Wiseman has the ability to manipulate people's minds to his will. While both are powerful, it is their usefulness that earned them their spot as Anguis. We also see that power alone doesn't indicate a person's rank in Ouroboros, because McBurn is probably more powerful than most of the Anguis, especially the ones we already know about. But since he's just strong, he's an enforcer, not an Anguis, so we have a pretty solid grasp on how the hierarchy is filled. Now let's think about it for a second. Who do we know that could be useful for Ouroboros? Well, let's look at something used by Ouroboros, the 13 factories. The factories are what the society uses for their R&D and black market sales. So there's our first hint to who the candidate is. The factories will more than likely be run by an Anguis, not an enforcer, because the factories are crucial for the society. Not only that, but they would have to prove themselves to be used for the Grandmaster in some way, shape, or form already. That's hint number 2. Now let's go back for a quick second and review the hierarchy. We know that enforcers work for the Anguis, and there's a character that we all know that has an enforcer working for them. So I think at this point you all know who I'm talking about, but just in case you don't, let me tell you. I'm talking about the chairwoman of the Reinford group, Irina Reinford. What? Does that sound like I'm bullshitting you? Well, it's not that much of a stretch if we review the facts. How about this? How about I provide evidence that she meets all the requirements of working for the society? Sound good? Alright, let's focus on the facts. We know that members of Ouroboros need to be powerful in some regard, and while we don't see that much of Irina in action, we do see her in action once and pummel the person who kidnapped her and took her spot in the company. Something she did with ease, and not something you'd expect the chairwoman to be capable of. So we know that she can hold her own in a fight. Now this is the base of anyone working for society, so I hear you ask, well, to join the society, you need a form of darkness over your life. Well, she does have darkness in her life, the death of her husband. Nothing's really known about his death, but it could be considered the event that caused Irina to go down her path in life. Now, what did she do for the Grandmaster or to prove her usefulness, you wonder? Let's not forget that Irina was the one who took over the Reinford group by force from her own father and built the railway guns that pointed right at Crossbow. These guns weren't necessary in any measure, yet she had them built anyway. Sounds like she built dangerous weapons just because she could, and once they were set up, they put a nation in peril. Not only that, but if we consider the 13 factories into different factories across Zemeria, then the Reinford factories would constitute 5 factories in Erebonia. The other nations would more than likely have factories in them to make the black market span across all countries. Now I also hear you say, well, if she's an Anguis, wouldn't she at least have one enforcer working for her? To which you say, duh. She has Sharon, a known Ouroboros enforcer working for her. Sharon dedicated her loyalty to the Reinfords, and it wouldn't be that much of a stretch for an enforcer to pledge her loyalty to an Anguis. So Sharon's loyalty makes much more sense that she's working for one of the Anguis instead of just a random family. Now, we aren't the only ones to reach this conclusion. There's one person who reached this conclusion before we did, but that person ran away as far as he could. That person is Gwen Reinford, Irina's father. He figured out his daughter's involvement with the society, and he ran away to a remote location free of mass public so he could go off the grid. He fled to Nord, not only secluded, but Nord is under watch by both Calvard and Erebonia. If an enforcer would approach him, he could go to either side's base of operations and get protection from the Society. There's one last piece of evidence that might help prove my point. In Trails in the Sky III, in the beginning of the game, we learn that a gun dealer has the top Reinford ship. Now, there is mention the Society was involved with his operations in some way, but wouldn't it make a lot of sense if the Society rewarded the ship to the weapons dealer and then washed their hands of him? A thank you gift, so to speak. With the Reinford's involvement with that man, and the fact that at one point the Society was involved with that same man, wouldn't it make sense if they were just one and the same? A reward from Ouroboros through the Reinford group. But hey, that's just my theory. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening to this video on this very special day. If you don't know what day it is, look down in the description. Please, for the love of God, do that. And thank you everybody for staying weird.